Alright guys, I know it's been a while since I, first off, made any kind of video since I've been having internet problems for a while. And I'm actually recording this while I'm still having them. Anyway, and it's also been a while, and I mean a good while, I think somewhere at the start of last year, or at the end of 2023, I think? I can't really remember when I made the last part, but here we are with part 3 of the Elrks. Cause why the fuck not? And mainly I really felt like doing it for some reason. And yeah, this is just gonna be like an intro, so certain things will be censored. Obvious reasons, since apparently I didn't censor part 1 well enough, so it actually got me a slap on the wrist warning from YouTube, so yeah. I'll either blur out the entire image in that case, or cover the image with something else, or yeah, you get it, hopefully. Anyway, without further ado, I'll minimize myself in a sec, and I'll see you at the actual start of the video. Alright, and here we are with the actual start of the video. Anyway, let's get right down to business here, and the Lancer Elrk Artia. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. Probably not, let's face it. Anyway, the oldest of the legendary Proto-Sisters. Stern in character and even very calm, sorry for that fuck up there, even during combat. She would take the most effective way to attack the opponent's weakness. Instead of finding herself a mate, she's more interested in finding someone for her sisters. Of course, the mate would have to survive the battles with the sister. Artia is the most dangerous among the sisters. Well, I guess any mate for her sisters is fucked. Quite literally, actually. Anyway, onward to the next one. Also, you may see cuts here and there, but that's because I'm also editing this so that I don't have as many fuck-ups during reading it, because doing multiple takes here would honestly be deserved, since I actually really like the Elrk Comics here, or the Elrics here, and I actually have taken quite a liking to the stuff Dr.BUG makes. Anyway, the Ogre Elrk Jimora. Again, hopefully I'm pronouncing that right, and if so, it's a nice sounding name actually. The second of the legendary Proto-Sisters. Cheerful personality, she inherited, god damn it, I'm mispronouncing English here. Anyway, she inherited the ogre genes, giving her a huge burst in power, but also a very fast drain in energy. When she's full, she's 5 times more powerful than normal, and 5 times less when she's starving. To prevent herself from being hungry during battle, she's always carrying drumsticks with her. Jimora is the most scary among the sisters. I have a feeling that will be explained later on, because honestly, she doesn't look too scary. Wait, hang on, is that a horse leg in her hand there? Alright, anyway, moving on, of course. Alright, and with the very first image that I at least have to apply its censor bar in a certain area, so cue that one sound effect that I'm thinking of. Anyway, the Cyclops Elrk Petra, the youngest of the legendary Proto-Sisters. Carefree but always zoning out, she inherited the Cyclops body build, or her body build and power. Has a wooden club, as her main weapon, but more often than not, she just slaps her opponents silly. I mean, you gotta love hearing that one, right? She grew up under the meticulous care of her older sisters, which inevitably formed her habit of needing to snuggle her sisters in order to fall asleep. She is the safest of the three sisters. Alright. Again, several questions, but considering she just kinda zones out a lot, I guess that's why she's the safest. Anyway, on to the next one, of course. Alright, so I'll forgo the commentary after this bit here and save it for the end, since this is where the actual story will start, and it's not like a little bit of backstory about the three main characters for this part of the Elrk Comics. Anyway, Artia's childhood was different from other Elrics. When her mother was on her quest of the Braves, she wasn't aware she was pregnant. She gave birth to Artia mid-quest and kept Artia with her along the search for a strong mate. For as long as Artia can remember, she had been fighting along her mother, and many years of fighting face to face against death had shaped her into a more mature, composed, strategic than her peers. Alright. Many years later, the mother took her three daughters back to the tribe. She's finished her quest and became a brave, even named as the legendary elite hunter Proto, which made Artia, Jumora, and Petra the Proto-sisters. However, Artia cannot view these fellow Elrics the same as her mother, even if they look alike. They're all weak. It's not even comparable. As the mother received the Elite Hunter title, the family was treated like royalties in the tribe. Even, I'm assuming that's supposed to be Artia, the name there. Or, anyway, Artias were considered as warrior, because of her experience fighting along her mother. However, this did not last long. The legendary hunter, Proto, was slain with a venomous knife during battle, and died after painfully struggling for 3 days at home. The three sisters grieved over their lost mother, and Artia then took a vow to take care of her sisters. A few years passed, and every morning Artia started her day with freeing herself from her sisters' grasps. As Jumora and Petra had finally grown to proper ogre and cyclops sizes. These years, the younger sisters have been training along with the children in the tribes, obtained their warrior qualification, and the three of them can finally go on the quest of the Braves, like their mother. With the ogre binge-eating gene, Jumora would engage in combat for the purpose of food, instead of honor or mating, like typical Elrics. When Jumora is hungry, she'd lose her conscience, or cautiousness, I think, and the hunger the hungrier she is, the more frenzied she gets. She'd consider everything except her sisters as food. And she'd directly bite onto it regardless of dead or alive. Thus, Artia always made sure the target is dead before her sister gets hurt. Aww. As Jumora was chomping away on the python's body, a bovine showed up from the woods. The bovine was beefy and built, probably would also stand out among his own kind. Jumora loved to eat beef the most, but since Elrics don't keep domesticated farm animals, the opportunity to eat beef was rather rare. The sight of the bovine excited Jumora as if a young girl met the love of her life. With her years of tracking experience, Artia suspected that there's probably a bovine tribe nearby, and to no surprise, they found the tribe the next day over the hills. The Proto-Sisters are not only known among the Elrics, it's said that they've eaten clean whole entire villages of demi-humans. Not to mention that very few had survived their attacks, which builds onto their terrifying legends. A bovine noticed as Petra walked up by herself to the bovine village gates. Her gigantic physique alarmed the guard. He tightly clutched his weapon and asked, "Halt! Who goes there?" Petra responds, "Hi, I'm a well-developed Elric. My sisters and I are on our quest of the Braves. We're wondering if we can challenge the strongest person in your village." Before long, the bovine elder brought a group of warriors to the gate and said, "Elrk warriors, these are the strongest warriors of our tribe, and regardless of the result, please don't harm any of the innocent villagers. Most of the demi-humans know that the Elrics would fight to find a strong opponent, so when an Elric initiates a challenge, normally people wouldn't reject this request, which also helps to prevent disaster. In the arena, Jumora and a bovine are ready to fight. The goblin referee between the two said, "Honestly, it's none of my business that you guys are battling. All types of attacks are acceptable in the arena, and the battle is not finished until one raises the white flag. Lost consciousness or death, winning 2 out of the 3 fights would deem the final champion, who can ask the losing party any request." Jumora started the fight with a strike to the bovine's solar plexus. He felt all his organs crushing on the inside, and an immense pain spread to the rest of his body. The palm strike was a combination of speed, mass, and strength, all force into the opponent's body. While this wasn't powerful enough to knock out the opponent or cause serious harm, it had effectively immobilized him, and the bovine fell over. Well, we know where this is going. Alright, can I get a dose of Called It? Also, obviously, parts like this will completely censor the image and the actual text to prevent any screw-ups with YouTube. Anyway, Jamora was aroused by the bovine who tumbled over in pain. She grabbed his lower body and started licking his you-know-what. The bovine's you-know-what, aka eggplant, enlarged and hardened with this stimulation. And Jamora continued licking while wrapping her... while wrapping her knockers around the eggplant. Hopefully that was a censored enough description. What are you doing? Yelped the referee. I thought you said all attacks are acceptable, responded Jamora. After some more licking, Jamora swallowed the banana so deep that it was poking at the end of her throat. The warm mouth and huge knockers continued to stimulate the banana. I think I'm getting creative with this censoring. Anyway. And with the help of strong sucking and squeezing, a hot load of thick mayonnaise was ejected into Jamora's mouth. The sweet and sour mayonnaise boiled its way down the esophagus and entered her stomach, giving her a feeling of fullness. God damn. Jamora dragged the bovine's lower body over and aligned it with hers, I'll say. And with the full force of her body, she slammed down, engulfing the banana, the thick bovine banana, immediately filled Jamora's, well, you can guess what, and entered her deepest part, I'll say. The bull shaft emitted a tremendous heat, exciting Jamora's lower half, which in turn Jamora prompted his legs and started the hot pumping action. Oh dear. Well, this is where the censoring starts. But I'll try and keep the shock goblin in here. Even though the bovine tried to escape from Jamora's grasp, she kept him still and continued to screw his banana. The cervix sucked on the banana during the screwing. It was so intense that he climaxed and, yeah, you know what, into her you-know-what. The thick and hot mayonnaise, right, shot the shot out the urethra. Yeah, let's face it, the image here is really distracting. And overfilled Jumora with I guess banana cream would be more appropriate since I keep saying banana. Whatever. Banana cream. After the intense screwing, the bovine lost consciousness, and Jumora stood up with satisfaction. The strong bull banana slipped out of her groin, and the overflowing banana cream slowly dripped from her fuckhole. Even though the combat took an unexpected turn, the bovine did lose consciousness, so Jumora won the fight. The other bovine warriors have been roused up by how their fellow bovine had been treated. All I can say is, death by snoo snoo. Petra participated in round 2, even though the Zebu bovine warrior was the most husky in the village. He was still shorter than Petra, who inherited the Cyclops genes. Petra clamped Zebu's neck like a child at the start of the fight, even though Zebu tried to remove himself from the grasp. The struggle felt only like child's play to Petra. As Zebu's struggling, he brushed against her groin, which immediately made Petra yelp, and she lost her focus that moment. He realized that this could be effective, so he grabbed her down there and fingered her. This sudden attack practically immobilized Petra, to which Zebu took the opportunity and bit on one of her knockers, or one of Petra's knockers. Zebu watched for Petra's reactions and promptly took her down while his left hand continued to finger her down there. Just as Petra was about to counter his attacks, he opened his game and started finger screwing her with 3 fingers. His finger screwing was electrifying, and she lost control over her body as he screwed faster and faster. Petra couldn't resist the orgasmic feeling, and she squirted out her love juice, shaking uncontrollably. Zebu picked up the limp Petra and forced his bulging banana into her body. The large beef stick, very accurate, was filling even to the half Cyclops. Petra felt a wave of climax as the banana delved into her deepest parts. With each pump, Petra's own banana started leaking banana cream. The vehement pumping eliminated any hope for Petra to relinquish herself from the attack. The wood-strong banana continued to bang against her insides, and he pressed onto her while speeding up his pumping. Petra could feel the banana enlarging inside her, and heat flooded from the tip of the banana with Zebu's crazy pumping action. Banana cream filled and overflowed from Petra down there. Obviously, last part was slightly changed since I do have to censor this. Sorry about that. After her deepest part had been hosed down with banana cream, Petra fainted from the orgasm. But Zebu wasn't going to stop his screwing there. As if he was avenging for his fellow bovine from the last match, he continued to screw her. Even though she's lost consciousness, her body and the genitals down there still responded to the endless screwing. So she felt good a few more times. With one win and one lost for both parties, the third and final battle would determine the end result. Artia's opponent is the strongest female in the bovine tribe, Minotaurus the Minotaur. The Minotaur. Title is one passed down from ancient bovine history. Only the strongest warrior in the tribe can wield this title. The moment when one gets defeated, the title will be passed down onto the winner. Thus, this title is the evidence of being the strongest. Artia started the fight by thrusting her spear towards Minotaurus' throat, but Minotaurus blocked the spear with her heavy two-handed axe and countered with a swing towards Artia's chest. Artia withdrew her spear, deflected the axe, and made another thrust. The two made multiple exchanges just at the blink of an eye, both still unharmed. Before long, the difference in physique had made its impact in battle. Minotaurus, muscles and stamina allowed her to continue swinging her around her axe. Artia was aware of her own lack of stamina, so she stabbed down her spear and launched herself over the incoming axe attack. Minotaurus closely followed Artia's movements, but she was not aware that Artia had already wrapped ribbon ropes around her arms. Artia used her ribbon ropes as a lasso and restrained Minotaurus's hands, bounced against her spear and lassoed around Minotaurus's head a few times, tightening all the lassos at the same time, as she landed. Which Minotaurus found her hands, weapon, and right horn were all bound down by the ribbon rope. She was completely immobilized. Artia struck a pose and said, "My mother was Proto the Great. She once told me that if I'm fighting against an opponent who has more strength, I have to defeat it with speed and tactics." And she dropped the ribbon rope after. Alright. When Artia was still traveling with her mother, she took her mom's advice and created this fighting style to fight against large monsters. Before long, Minotaurus was stuck in a bind. She angrily shouted at Artia, "You should fight face to face, fist to fist. How could you live up to the Elric's name?" Artia mildly responded, "It doesn't matter as long as I can win." In the end, instead of dying honorably, I'd rather disgracefully live to 100 years old. Artia lifted up Minotaurus's bottom and started to suck and lick her down there. Minotaurus ragefully yelled, "You think I'd surrender with this? Dream on." Binding... Wait, no, hang on, one line too far. Even though she wanted to resist this, but she was unable to free herself from the binding. As a warrior, she felt humiliated with being defeated by such a dirty trick. The humiliation flustered her face red. Artia slowly forced her half-aroused banana into Minotaurus's body. Her lower half instinctively started to contract as it senses an insertion. The banana started to harden and enlarge, and under the contractions, even though no visible movements were made, both their lower halves responded and continued to stimulate and wet each other. And yes, I censored quite a bit there. Artia slowly rubbed her banana against Minotaurus's wet walls down there. The hot steel rod continued to bump against the deepest part. There were no more words between the two. All their concentration was focused on connecting with each other's lower half. Artia rejoiced. Her position, readjusted. Sorry, her position to reach even deeper, and the lower half of Minotaurus welcomed this by opening up and sucking in the banana. Oh, the goddamn censoring I have to do here. Oh, goddamn it. It's my own fault, but I love it. Their faces closed in on each other and finally ended with a deep kiss. By now, Minotaurus had untangled her hands, but instead of attacking, she wrapped her arms around Artia. They continued to tongue each other and move their bodies. Minotaurus grabbed onto Artias's butt and pulled her in even closer. Artia's banana were completely taken in by Minotaurus. By Minotauru. Alright. This sudden stimulation made Artia release banana cream inside. Alright. The hot banana cream slowly filled out, or flooded out, or flowed out, sorry, from their non-stop screwing action. The two of them were like children who first experience doing the fun stuff, moaning and screwing, the constant contractions down there, squeezed and pulled on the banana, sucking out every bit of banana cream, like holy shit, out, even though both of them released and orgasmed a few times. They didn't release each other from their hugs. Aww. And I think I can show like a small part of this image, not the entire thing for obvious reasons, but goddamn. Unless YouTube has something against kissing, of course. A long while had passed, and the two kept at the same position, laying in a pool of lukewarm banana cream. The impatient goblin came up to check and said, "They're both asleep by now. I don't know who lost consciousness first, so I guess it'll be a draw." Everyone's shocked by this. Having a tie in battle is unheard of. What will happen next? And obviously I can't show the entire image. I can't show the image at all here. But I will nonetheless describe it here. Yeah, of course, they're laying on top of each other, and let's just say the Minotaur in the illustration actually has a pretty good grip on both her legs and her ass. And that's all that I'm gonna say there. Since there was no winner or loser, the bovine chieftain, aka the Elder, proposed an idea in the labyrinth. The origin of the bovines. A slime dragon showed up and was causing lots of trouble there. As long as the Elrks would go there and take care of the slime dragon, then the tribe would let Artia marry Minotaurus as the strongest bovine warrior. Minotaurus will go to the labyrinth as well. Minotaurus said, "This is the entrance to the labyrinth. The slime dragon resides in it. This is a huge maze. By the way, why are you hooking my arm?" asked Artia. "It's normal for spouses to hook arms," answered Minotaurus. "This adventure will become one of the famous legends of the Proto-Sisters. But that's another story." And with that, that is the final part for this little chapter here. And let's just say, holy shit, did I have to hold back my laughter. And the keeping my focus in some parts was also quite the challenge. I mean, if anything, the Elrk Comics actually have a lot more, sudden shock than the Monster Girl Encyclopedia, so that's good training for that series. But in all honesty, I actually really like this sort of thing. Kind of hoping that I censor it well enough that YouTube won't screw me over. Like it did with the first one, but I guess with the censoring I did a pretty good job with part 2. Anyway, again, I hope you guys did enjoy this. Feel free to comment down below what you think of it, and if I should make a part 4, or aka just continue with this series every now and then. Guys, again, I do enjoy the hell out of it. I actually kind of like the art style and the occasionally the illustrations looking non-finished. Occasionally, but again, bonus. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video or stream of whatever I'll be making or streaming. So yeah, bye.